Hey, it's David Pitts, co-founder at OffDaTrainer, and you're listening to the 360 Entrepreneur with Jan Ilunga.
This is episode 179, and today we talk about the power of SMS marketing. Here we go.
Welcome to the 360 Entrepreneur Podcast, the show for entrepreneurs and small business owners who dream big and want to do bigger. Join some of the world's top entrepreneurs, internet marketers, and best-selling authors as they share their inspiring stories, their struggles, and give actionable tips that will help you build, grow, and promote your online business. Here's your host, Yanni Lunga.
Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to a new episode of the 360 Entrepreneur Podcast. As always, you heard it. I'm your host, Yanni Lunga, coming to you all the way from up north. Yep, that's Helsinki, Finland. And in today's episode, you're gonna learn about the power of disruptive marketing and how you can unlock the power of marketing through smartphones and tablets. So, SMS marketing, today's conversation revolves around that. We're gonna talk about that with David Pitts. He's a personal training expert, is an SMS marketing guru, and the creator of OffDaTrainer.com. The show notes for today's episode are over at yannilunga.com/episode 179. All right, without further ado, here is the interview with David Pitts from OffDaTrainer.com. Hey guys, today we are joined by the co-founder of OffDaTrainer, a text message automation, lead generation, and client management platform built specifically for fitness professionals. As a former gym owner, a fitness sales manager, and a personal trainer, he knows fitness, but he also knows, as you heard, automations, lead generations, and all those things. I'm so excited to welcome on the show David Pitts. David, how's it going?
I'm doing very well, Jan. Thank you so much for having me.
Man, it's my pleasure, and it's pretty interesting. You know, when I got to hear about what you do, I was like, man, that's so, it was really eye-opening, some of the things you do, because I do a lot of sport, but I'm not, I don't go to the gym. I do many other things. And then when I saw some of the things that you and your team at OffDaTrainer, what you do and what you offer to other people in the fitness space, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I'm sure you're gonna be able to provide a lot of value to both those who are part of the fitness space as well, but also those who may be like me, who aren't necessarily part of the fitness space, but they are here because they're interested in learning how they can apply some of the things you and your team do for their own business.
Absolutely, 100%, Jan. As you know, our product is geared for the health and wellness space, but really what we are is we're an engagement tool. We help people connect with their customers. So that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a personal trainer, texting with your personal training clients. I mean, anyone in business who is looking to just connect on a personal level to deliver that experience could definitely benefit from some of the things I'm going to share today, because I'm a firm believer in the client relationship. And that's really what our system and our core principles are built upon.
I love that you said that, and I think it's important what you said, that building the connection with the prospects and customers is key. And I have to ask you, David, because I think is one thing to provide a service as a fitness coach, as a fitness expert, and leveraging certain things, but to actually really kind of build a system that can be implemented by other people in your space, in this case, OffDaTrainer, is a different thing. So can you take a moment to give us kind of some background story on OffDaTrainer, kind of what it is, how you came up with the idea?
Yeah, absolutely. So what OffDaTrainer is, it's a text messaging system that helps personal trainers or fitness professionals of any type better connect with their network. And when I say network, I'm not talking about just their existing customers. I'm also talking about prospects and former clients as well. So anyone who might be interested in my services as a trainer, I have systems that are going to help me connect with you to capitalize on every opportunity, every lead that comes into my business model, right? So now I'm engaging with these leads, whether I have one lead or 1,000 leads, on a personal level, ensuring that I deliver that value straight from the get-go, like as soon as they're interested in my business. And then there's also the whole existing customer engagement, to where we want to connect on a personal level with everyone we're working with. In the personal training space, Jan, most of our clients only meet with us 2 or 3 times a week. So there's a lot of downtime and a huge disconnect between the trainer and the client outside of the gym. So what are you doing the other 23 hours a day? What are you doing the other 4 or 5 days a week? And that's really critical to their success. So what we know is, if we can deliver touch points, if we can deliver more motivation and more accountability, ultimately influencing our client behavior, then we're positioning them up for success. Okay, so we want to do that with our existing customers. And then the third component of this is really just staying connected with everyone you've ever worked with. So if we're working out together and for whatever reason we have to go our separate ways, the best thing I can do as a business owner, and not just a personal trainer, but anyone in business, is to really sustain that relationship. Stay in touch with those people and show them that you care, and that, so in our space with our product, we send out messages like, hey, Jan, I hope you're maintaining your health and fitness goals. Next time you're in the area, stop by and say hello. I'd love to see you. Like, that goes a long way from the customer's perspective, because now it tells me that you not only care about taking my money and my services, but you also care about my overall well-being. And not only that, it's also delivering value, to stay engaged. And if you could find ways to deliver value, maybe I send you healthy links to recipes I found online, or whatever it might be. If we can keep you connected with everyone you've ever worked with, there's tremendous value there.
Man, I love it. Thank you so much for really taking a moment to shed light on OffDaTrainer, and also not only to shed light on that, but also to share some things that apply to every single person who's here with you and I. Because, I mean, if you're here listening to David and myself, and you deal with people, you have clients, then you have to ask yourself some of the questions that David rose. And I want to ask you, David, now about something you have on your blog, and I'll make sure, like, in every episode, to link to everything we touch on in the show notes, because you had an article where you talk about treating a business like one's fitness. So for both fitness people and people like me, David, why would you say it's critical to really start to look at our business as if it's fitness?
Well, I think it really comes down to the core principles of what it is that creates success. Okay, so as fitness professionals or as personal trainers, we're constantly telling our clients that, they're not going to get results overnight, and they need to put in that consistent effort over time. And then eventually they're going to create this huge transformation, and their life is going to change and everything's going to be good. Too many times I see in our industry, the fitness industry and business in general, people will try things and they expect this overnight success. And rarely, if ever, does it work that way. I often hear about, Facebook doesn't work for my marketing. I tried that once and that's a waste of money, or whatever it might be, right? And rather than just giving up on things so quickly, understanding that a lot of this stuff takes time, whether it's marketing or sales or whatever it might be that you're really looking to improve your business, understanding that it requires a consistent effort. Right? As long as you're giving your best every single day, you're going to see progress. And don't just obsess over, the one ad you ran or whatever it might be that didn't, create the return that you were looking for. Sometimes you got to massage those things and work them out a little bit, change the copy, maybe change the image, whatever it might be. But understanding it's a process is huge. And in my line of work within the health and wellness space, it's funny to me because I'm working with fit pros who are constantly preaching these things like, hey, this isn't going to happen overnight. You got to give your best effort every day and all this stuff. But then they don't apply those same principles to their business model. So I just want to ensure that they recognize that, the same things, the same principles you're preaching in regards to your health and fitness goals, those can also be applied for your business goals.
Man, that's dynamite. And I think you're so on point. And I love the fact that you talked about you made the example of Facebook ads not being effective. And it's because sometimes we are so focused on other people's results that we don't realize that we hear about the final outcome, but sometimes the process from start until the outcome may have been few weeks or even few months. In some cases, even a couple of years. So like you said, it's important to start to really change the mindset which we use when we approach different things, especially when it comes to different marketing. And because there are really like all tools for doing digital marketing, there is a new tool every week almost. And speaking of digital marketing, something you do with OffDaTrainer and you talk about is SMS marketing. So everybody nowadays, or almost everybody has a smartphone. We know that whenever we get a text message or something like that, we tend to check our smartphone. So for us as business people, as entrepreneurs, as people who want to get people onto their email list, we can use SMS marketing. So David, can you take a moment to kind of explain, give us a lesson on SMS marketing for dummies? So how does it work?
Yeah, so let's point out the obvious first and foremost, which is the effectiveness of text messaging. So there's no question that this day and age, text messaging is the most effective form of communication. Nowadays, people are more likely to reply to a text message from you than they are to even answer your phone call. And what I've learned is the trend is shifting, but people are still hesitant to utilize text in the form of a business. A lot of times they'll think maybe it's invasive or could be annoying and all of this stuff. And my argument to that is what is the content that you're sending out through that text? Because that's the key. If you're texting people directly to their phone and all you're doing is asking for their money, then yes, 100% it's invasive, it's annoying, and it's uncalled for. But on the flip side of that, if you can provide valuable content to either your prospects or your customers, and when you text them, they're going to appreciate that message, now it changes everything. Because what we know is when we send a text, everyone that we send that text message to virtually is going to read your message. And that's something that no other engagement platform can provide. If you send out an email, you're going to be lucky to get 22% of the people you send that to read it. And who knows when. But if I send out a text, 98% of those people are going to see it, and they're going to see it within the first 5 minutes. So what we call this, Jan, is we call this disruptive marketing. This means no matter where my people are, no matter what they're doing, I could send them a text and briefly capture their attention. And as business owners, that's exactly what we're doing, right? We're trying to capture people's attention so that we can provide value to them so that they can entrust in us enough to buy into whatever it is we're selling, right? So the way text messaging works, initially there's different ways that your network can opt into your text program. Some of the common ways of doing so are to text in by texting a keyword to a short code. So for example, what that might look like is my name is David. Maybe that's my keyword, and my short code is basically my 5-digit phone number for texting. So I might promote to you or to my network, for a free personal training session, text David to 12345. And then anyone who texts that is now going to opt into my text program, and I can have automated messaging follow up with them, or I can connect with them personally through the system. Now, some other ways to opt into these text programs are online forms. So maybe on your website, you have a form there promoting whatever it is that you want, but then the call to action would be enter your phone number here. And then once they enter their phone number, that's going to integrate with their text program. And now that person has just joined my text system. And then what's really cool, what we're doing, and it's pretty innovative, some of the stuff that we're doing now is we have these tablets that are pretty cool. So we can place these tablets wherever we want, whether we're a restaurant owner or a gym owner, whatever it might be. And I could place this tablet within my facility to onboard my members, right? So when you come into the gym, you could put your phone number directly into that tablet. And now I got your information so that I could text you whenever I want. If I'm a restaurant owner, it could be the same thing. And a lot of times you see restaurant owners doing this as and they're promoting it as a loyalty rewards program. So maybe you go up to buy, dinner for you and your family. And right there's like a loyalty rewards program where you could enter your phone number to earn points. And then they can text out at any time. So maybe it's Monday night and I own a restaurant and business is slow. I could send out a text to thousands of people in my area that says, hey, 2-for-1 drinks. It's Monday Night Football, 2-for-1 drinks for anyone who comes in and shows this text message. We'll honor this discount for the rest of the football game or something like that. And then the business owner watches his customers come on in with their friends and family. So really, it's just a matter of influencing our client behavior through text. Because like I said, that's really what we're trying to do, whether we own a restaurant or a gym or whatever our business model is. If we can capture our client's attention or our customer's attention, then we can deliver our message through a text.
Man, David, you are dropping value bombs left and right. This is incredible. And I want to start by touching on the tablet thing you talked about, because I think that's such a great idea. And as I was listening to you, David, I was thinking, so in July, I attended Podcast Movement in Chicago, and there were some booths for different companies. And I was thinking, if you're here with David and I, and maybe you're about to be at a conference with your company's booth or whatever, try to think about this strategy. Instead of printing flyers that nobody really reads and things like that, try to work on this and have maybe a tablet or give people an incentive. It can be a giveaway, a contest where you invite people to join in through a tablet so that that people tune in right there and then. And you touched on SMS marketing, and that's fantastic. And you said it, disruptive marketing. And that's exactly, as you said, David, what we're trying to do in a space that is becoming more and more noisy. And SMS, I mean, you said it is very, very effective. And you said to set it up is simple. And then the way it works is we have a keyword, we have a few digits. And if you have listened to other podcasts, you might have heard the host say, okay, to join, send this word to this number. Or you may remember Jessica Rhodes, who was here with us on the podcast. She used that, and that's something that is growing. I know for me, for example, at the moment that I'm in Finland, there certain services like that aren't available just yet. But I would definitely encourage you to make sure to check out the show notes, because there you find the links, as I said, to everything David and I talked about. And you can find their OffDaTrainer, obviously. And then you can really start to look at what David and his team do. And you can check out the services, and you may find something that is available in your area, or you may find out that what you're using as an email service provider, for example, has the option for you to do SMS marketing. And David, early on, you touched on Facebook when you talked about the importance of treating our business like one's fitness. And in one of your articles, you talked about Facebook as a fantastic platform to tap in to generate more leads, and do that by also adding SMS marketing. So David, what can we do to combine SMS marketing and Facebook to generate more leads?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting. There are a lot of ways to leverage different platforms within to collect a phone number in which you can text out. So for example, with Facebook being as popular as it is, especially with our business ads and whatnot, it's very easy to promote your keyword and short code on a platform like Facebook. So for example, maybe I post an image, and I'm going to stick with the fitness space because it's easier for me to create these examples. But let's say I'm a trainer and I just opened a gym in my area, and I'm trying to get everyone in town to understand that I have, a solution to their problems. Now, how do I do this? How do I get them in? Well, what I can do is I could run an ad on Facebook, and I could target, a certain geolocation. Maybe I want to target all the middle-aged women within a 10-mile radius of my facility. Because maybe my niche, my target market is middle-aged women who are looking to lose weight, or whatever it might be. So Facebook actually allows you to target these people. And so once I do that, now I can show them my ad, and my ad would basically paint this picture of me being this expert in fat loss for middle-aged women, right? So maybe there's a couple of ways to do it. One, through the ad, is if I paint this picture of maybe I'm promoting a free personal training session for my grand opening. And maybe anyone who I've targeted is interested, they can click on the ad, and then I would redirect them to my landing page. And here's where I'm showing people like them. I'm showing middle-aged women who are looking to lose weight, or even who have lost weight with me, right? Because that gives me credibility. So I show them, now they're on my site and they see a picture of me working with people like them. And now they have this testimonial from somebody who has, one of my clients who has experienced this tremendous level of success. So they got this testimonial. Maybe we show like transformation images to show the proof and all of this stuff. And what we would do is we would want to create a sense of urgency and provide some credibility. So the testimonials and whatnot gives you some credibility, and maybe a sense of urgency would be something like, hurry, I'm only giving away 20 of these free sessions, because my time is limited here. And then when they get to my landing page, maybe it says, only 2 spots remaining, enter now. And that also provides some credibility because now that person is thinking, shoot, 18 other people already committed to this. I better get on it. Right. So it creates that sense of urgency to where now they're going to opt in. And then it goes back to how they opt in. I could either promote my keyword and short code and say, to claim this offer, text David to 12345, or I can have a little online form there. It just says, to claim this offer, enter your phone number. And then as soon as they do that, as soon as they either text in or enter their phone number, now it's going to automatically opt them into my text program, in which they're going to receive an automated message on their end welcoming them to my program. Does that make sense?
Man, it absolutely does. And I'm sure that there are people taking notes, because you basically, David, laid out the kind of the phases, each step of the process and the thought process that goes behind that. So you talked about using, kind of giving people a source of urgency, leveraging social proof, inviting people to join, not next week, not 6 months from now, but right now, because the deal is going away soon. The doors are closing. I love that. I'm really enjoying this conversation. And David, I have 2 quick questions for you to wrap up this fantastic interview. The first one is, if people would like to connect with you or maybe to ask you questions, what would you say is the fastest way to do that?
Oh man, well, there's tons of ways. First, I do have a text opt-in if they want to connect with me through text. And actually, we're doing this nice little giveaway for your listeners. If they like, they can text in the keyword podcast to the number 56955, and you can put this in your show notes. But when somebody texts the number 56955, that would be my short code. And now in the text field, they just put podcast. Okay, singular PODCAST podcast. They text that, send it, and it's going to opt them in. And then they'll get a link to my landing page, just kind of how I talked about on Facebook, in which I'm going to give away this really cool business growth video, like to where it's not specific to the fitness industry. I speak on the fitness space because that's my area of expertise. But we really cover business best practices from branding your business to marketing it and making sure you got that lead generation component down, and then engaging with your clients once you have them to deliver that experience. So and to ultimately improve your retention numbers. So I have this video I would love to share with your listeners. They can connect with me there. Of course, I have an email. That email address is david@offdatrainer.com. And we're on social media as well. We're on facebook.com/OffDaTrainer. And then I'm on Instagram. You can find my handle by searching OffDaTrainer as well.
Awesome. Well, I said I had two questions, but you basically, David, you answered them both, because I wanted to ask you if you had some final advice, but I think that what you share with us is perfect because it's really the next step to this conversation. The video you mentioned is the next step to this conversation. So make sure to send a text message and also to check out the show notes page so that you can connect with David, you can access the video, and you can really dive deeper into some of the things David Pitts and I have talked about in this episode. David, thank you so much for being here. This has been a blast. You've provided us with so much value. I really feel like this has been a kind of workshop. So I'm really am grateful for your time.
Absolutely, Jan. Thank you so much for having me. I'm humbled. I love your show, and it's a pleasure being here.
And we are back. David, thank you so much for shedding light on the power of SMS marketing, disruptive marketing. And you heard it. We mentioned his business growth videos. So he said you can text the word podcast to 56955. Once again, that's podcast at 56955. You're also going to find the links to everything else David and I have talked about in the show notes over at yanilunga.com/episode 179. This is it for today. In next week's episode, we're gonna tackle the topic of crowdfunding. Really, really, really exciting. This is it. Thank you so much for joining David Pitts and I here, for making us part of your day, and I'll be back with you in just a few days. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the 360 Entrepreneur Podcast. For more tips and tools, head over to www.yanilunga.com.